Hi there, welcome to another educational video document in my Web3 expedition. In this video, we're going to be talking about Caldera. I just want to make a very short video that will prepare you for yapping organically about Caldera. So many people, I believe, are not yapping about Caldera because they are not familiar with it. This video will get you familiar with Caldera, enabling you become a yapper. Now, why is this of interest? Because although Caldera is such a big project, there are now stats available pertaining to how many yappers are participating, and interestingly, just 2,200. That's a very small number. That tells you that you can be dominant when it comes to yapping about Caldera. If they have an allocation, airdrop allocation for yappers, you will likely qualify, even if you aim towards ranking in the top 1,000, which I believe is possible even if you don't have a verified account. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because of people contacting me bothered about not having a verified account. In fact, there are many leaderboards on Kaito where you can be dominant even without that. You simply need to look for the stats like this. Now, if there are just 2,200 yappers, you know, Caldera can decide to reward every yapper, but even if they say top 1,000, you can easily rank top 1,000. So this video will help you overall. Knowledge of these stats will inspire you for a start. Then let's get on to talking about Caldera and what's possible on it, what they are building, and then end the video. So generally, with respect to the Caldera airdrop, besides an airdrop allocation for yappers, there may be a huger allocation for users of the Caldera ecosystem. That is definitely going to involve some Caldera on-chain footprint. A good place to start thus is this domain portal here. This will allow you to register a domain name that will constitute your username across the Caldera ecosystem. So this is a good place to start. It's free of charge, by the way, to get your Caldera username. I've done a tutorial about that, so this is not going to be a tutorial video. It's just a summarized video containing all the gist. So sign in here, set up your name, and your username will be minted as an NFT on multiple rollups. So as you can see here, it's a free endeavor. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. That will give you a Caldera footprint for a start. Okay, then next you want to explore the ecosystem of Caldera. Now, by the way, somehow, if you have been interacting with different chains, different applications, you likely already have some Caldera footprint. Now, you may not have as much Caldera footprint as others who are conscious about interacting with Caldera, but somehow, considering that Caldera is the internet of chains and it's basically a meta layer of rollups, you likely will have some Caldera footprint, and on the basis of that could qualify for an airdrop. So what does this mean? To understand better, if you go to rollups here and click on deploy a rollup, you'll understand what Caldera is. Basically, it allows you to launch a rollup. A rollup is a chain. Okay, so many of the chains you use may be objects of this entire atmosphere here. They likely came to Caldera, decide to pay $3,000 a month to institute a rollup that makes use of one of this stack here, Arbitrum Nitro OP stack. So many of the chains that you may use out there, such as Manta, for example, and Kinto, that incorporate this stack and all that, they are likely powered by Caldera. And of course, using applications built on these chains as well will give you a Caldera footprint. So this is where, now this is for those with builders who are builders at heart. You can launch your own blockchain managed by Caldera in 5 minutes. Basically, all you need to do is pay the monthly charge. If you want to run a testnet instead, you can. That's billed at, I think, $99 per month. So let's say you want to run a testnet phase, inform people to stress test your network, institute a prospective token like is typical with many chains, you can do that. Okay, so As for builders at heart who want to explore this, you know, thinking of the cost, I don't think it's expensive. You remove the know-how involved, perhaps the expenditure associated with a team, all that. And chains make an income. Okay, so that aside. Now, this improves the context for Caldera and helps you understand, why it has a robust ecosystem. Next, we'll go to the ecosystem. Now, for airdrops, it's very probable too that if there's an airdrop allocation, they would want to give to their rollups, likely to incite growth of the rollups. So it's very possible that instituting a rollup positions you for an airdrop. However, no airdrop is promised. Now, as for the ecosystem proper, first off, let's see some stats. Value locked across Caldera ecosystem is 1 billion plus 500 million transactions, 17 million unique wallets, 75 plus chains. Okay, now if you click on explore the ecosystem, this will basically intimate you on how to obtain those Caldera footprint, which you must have obtained already by virtue of minting your username. So one chain which I've interacted with also covered that will give you the Caldera footprint is Kinto. I don't know. I'll see if I can link Kinto in the description. So if you've used Kinto, you would have Caldera footprint. Okay, so this is an entire app chain. So it's an entire blockchain with every DeFi functionality in it, but it takes the form of an app. So it's like that's the feeling you will get. All the applications within the Kinto ecosystem are in one place. All the DeFi opportunities are in one place, making it an app chain. This is powered by Caldera. So if you have interactions with Kinto, you would have interactions with Caldera. Another one I use actively is Towns. Because of the productivity it brings, it's basically a Telegram alternative, but a decentralized one that allows you to manage communities and all that. Now, by the way, this has its own airdrop. It has raised a large amount in funding. The airdrop is very soon. So it's worth it to start your interactions with Towns Protocol. I'll put 4 channels in the description, 1 free and 3 are paid. Paid channels give you points when you join them. So that's how I acquire most of my points here. So I'll feature them in the description. Then your interactions here, such as tipping, transfers, and all that, is likely to involve Caldera. Okay, then back here, explore the ecosystem. Okay, some people have interacted with Ape Chain. I have. Some people have interacted with Manta. I have. It's an L2. Okay, so on the basis of these interactions, may not, of course, historical interactions, you already have a Caldera footprint. But if you want to proceed as we speak, then these are the chains to explore. You can bridge funds on them. You can look for applications on them to interact with. B3 is another one, a gaming related chain. Rivals, some of you have interacted with Rivals. It involves Caldera. Rarible, there is an NFT marketplace called Rarible. Zerion, I will see if I can link Zerion in the description. Many people are using the Zerion wallet and interacting with the Zerion portal. That is also going to give you, Caldera footprint. Now, for those who don't have the funds to move around and want to focus on test nets, there are also many test nets in the Caldera ecosystem, and they are all outlined here. So testing them, who knows, may be counted towards a Caldera footprint. Okay, so interestingly, what's featured here are chains. If you want to look for apps on these respective chains, then you would have to visit the chain proper and check out its own native ecosystem and explore those apps. bringing us to the end of this video. So you see here, it's linking you to a bridge. Using this bridge, you get started with having Caldera footprint because you are moving funds onto Manta, stuff like that. Bringing us to the end of this video, I want to keep this video short and relevant. I think it's sufficient if you want to get started with yapping about Caldera and want general overview about it. As for yapping about Caldera, all you need to do is onboard on Kaito. The link will be in the description. Then with your X account, then you start talking about Caldera on X. Kaito basically tracks your social contributions. This includes your posts and your replies and ranks you on the Caldera leaderboard. Kaito seems to favor when you talk about a few projects. So if you want to have dominance on Caldera, for example, you may want to be focused when you yap about Caldera for the most part, especially if you have like low engagement, because there's a loyalty boost by Kaito. Your ranking is independent of Caldera. Kaito handles that. But I wanted to show this portal here. It only shows the top 100, meaning that if you are not on display here, you shouldn't despair. You're still on the leaderboard, just not in the top 100. So because this only displays top 100. So you would still qualify for an airdrop generally, even if you're not in the top 100. For example, if Caldera decides to distribute to top 500, even though you're not here, but within the top 500 range, you will qualify. Stuff like that. Bringing us to the end of this video. To conclude with this video, visit airdropc.com and submit your email to subscribe to airdrop reminders. This is because I'm working on 100 solid airdrop opportunities. Caldera is one of them. Each will have its own publication tutorial coming soonest, and I'll be sending it out to subscribers. So basically, submit your email here. Connect with me using this Twitter, this form, this Telegram, and this Twitter. Subscribe to Web3 Wikis on all socials. Stay awesome. Take action.